cricket match that took place between India and Pakistan.
This is the DudeBrosPodcast. This is the DudeBrosPodcast.
Pakistani players went and sprayed air freshener out on the field. No, they don't like it.
What a dig. What a dig.
Open field spraying air freshener.
What a moment of relief that was for that team, you know? Just, like zebra stripe gum, you get it, it's like,
I don't know if I would...
Just saying, I've heard that India stinks a lot. It's cool more with the cows pooping in the street and stuff like that, but that's just me.
God, Indian street food. So, Indian street food is without a doubt the most eclectic, exotic, whatever word you want to put out there. Certainly interesting and intriguing concepts like a naked man who keeps one full leg in the pot of soup the whole time that he's there stirring the soup. And you know what? It's 6 a.m. in the morning. What do you want? You probably want me to open up this bag of Skittles, scramble it into the egg that I just cracked. Then you know what? I'm going to grab some of this dirt from the street, rub it on the bottom of my foot, throw it in there. Then I'm going to spit on my hand, rub it, and get this other little thing here. I mean, it's just...
I feel like you're underselling it, too. It's probably more extreme than that.
It's
have you
disgusting.
Really watched these?
It's disgusting. I've seen that pops up in my feed too, and it's some of the most disgusting.
Using your long middle toenail
to cut meat,
cut the steak meat, like literally just.
Because that's his tool. His big toenail is so sharp that he can cut meat with it. Yeah.
Their culture and several other cultures believe that a certain part of the human is passed on into the food that brings that taste, that flavor to it. That's why mama's food tastes better than other people's, because it's actually got whatever word you want for it that is going into it. So that's their whole premise of that, is they're giving some of themselves into that food for.
And that was kind of the route I was going to take, is I'm sure a cultural difference in understanding, and I was going to take it in route of cleanliness, but that definitely makes more sense.
Yeah,
different levels of standards of what's allowed to be clean, but the actual passing of DNA makes total sense. Passing of the energy.
Yeah. It's looking at it from that lens.
Having spent time in the food service industry on all sides of it, from management to cooking to all of it, no. I mean, I ran a line, and at the end of the night, you clean everything. No, man, it's just I've been in nicer restaurant settings where at the end of the night, absolutely everything is cleaned. From the top to the bottom, it smells like a freaking bleach plant when you leave there because everything is shining.
Very true. The best food that I've had has been from definitely not the pristine, clean places.
Has it been from toenails? You had to think about it. I'm just saying, if your mom spit in your very special chili and you knew that you were taking a part of your mom with you, I don't know if I could go down that path. But
that on the side for me, I just
put the spit on the side.
Thank you.
I definitely think there's something in that. There's, we always talk about the special ingredient in the food is love, and the making of the food, the passion behind it. But
no, it's definitely a special blend of bacteria that your mother has on her skin and her.
What if it was more?
Hormones she's secreting. It's all.
I mean, I get the thought process, but I do not want to participate in that at all.
I understand all of that. And honestly, the videos that disturb, because they also have a very different perspective on rodents, rats and their culture and all that. Have you ever seen the rat temple and whatnot?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah, there's a.
We'll have to show him that video.
You can do it.
I don't know if I want to pull that up right now.
Let's not do it.
Yeah. But,
they like rats.
Yeah, there's not a big, it's not necessarily a negative for it to be right by your food. So, if the man cooking your eggs also has a rat that crawls through your spices, it ain't no thing.
Yeah, there's different levels of standards for sure. I think my first real big exposure was public restrooms.
in terms of exposure.
Well, when you don't have plumbing, what do you do with your used toilet paper? And if you're not used to flushing it down a toilet, you throw it in the corner of the bathroom. And if you go to a high tourist area, maybe I was in Yosemite and at an open air bathroom, it was easily the most disgusting bathroom I've ever been in my life. There was resting toilet paper on the floor. You had to walk around it. And it was a large bathroom.
Yeah, when you see that hole in the floor and a hose next to it, that's just...
I mean, that really is better for you.
I mean, for as far as positioning and all that, sure. But there's shit everywhere, and you gotta... No thanks, I'm good.
I had a summer job of cleaning rental houses out for a certain group when I was in school.
I know this one.
I don't know if we need to put this in there or not, but specifically, that was prior to the Yosemite experience, that was the first time where I learned a family that had plumbing that didn't use the bathroom, and they would relieve themselves in the closet, and we had to rip up all of the carpet in the house and make that place livable again because they had just allowed that to go on for who knows how many years. Anyways,
some people, man,
different levels of standards, different experiences.
Punish up with the agency heads, and I check frequently with the president to make sure that...
One of our more recent videos, we talked about documented DUs being used now, directed energy weapons, literal lasers from space coming and melting things. And that's what happened. There was the conflict between India and Pakistan. China got involved and it got squashed very quickly, and then now they're starting to put out more and more of the tech that was used in that. Now, one cool thing I will say that came out, and this came out today, there's been a gentleman's agreement on the border of these nations that they will no longer engage with any ranged weapons. And that's why you literally have the Chinese army being armed with medieval weapons, long maces, heavy clubs, spiked things. They literally are setting up for medieval warfare all across the Himalayas.
They said, "Try me, bro."
Is that not a
gangster move?
It's just interesting. On a certain level, I do appreciate that there's an understanding between powers. They're like, hey, let's not use these very, very terrifying weapons and potentially do a lot of damage. But if you're able to have that mature conversation between nation states, maybe you're able to have another conversation that doesn't end with, let's give each other clubs and have our poor people beat each other to death.
Right. Let's not have the conflict anymore. Since we can resolve, we don't want to kill each other with these weapons.
So on that note, it's time to attempt to upload another 3iAtlas video. And if not, we'll edit that out and we'll just have another short video that comes up. Every week we've tried to do 3iAtlas stuff.
Yeah, and
we know that it had its closest approach to Mars yesterday. It ended early yesterday, actually. At the same time, every single entity on space stopped reporting any information. We're talking about the Indians, the Russians, the Chinese, the Americans, 6 separate private companies. Everybody that has spacecraft, spaceships, yes, we're starting to disclose that, and probes, all there. All have not reported any information about this object since that point in time.
kind of reminds me of that minutes in the Epstein thing where that's just...
No, my point being is I was going off of what you had just said, is that you have this global coordination, which then makes you think, what could it possibly be that have all of these nations at once agreeing to not put forth this information and not disclose anything further?
It's probably General Zod, I had to guess.
From Asgard.
Asgard?
Krypton. Yeah, very interesting stuff there. We've seen it change colors. We've seen it not move how it's supposed to be. Also, fun fact, 2 days ago we discovered yet another object coming into our solar system, moving faster than anything else ever recorded. Just now, wouldn't you know it? But this one's on a parabolic route, so it's just going to come in and out and all that. It wouldn't, not going to be anything. But it will be arriving here right around the same time that all these other things are going to be very close to the whatnot. Now, I have seen a lot of wooey ideas one way or another. I've seen images that have several different spacecraft following behind this one central object. I believe those to be fabricated images, so do not believe those if you see those floating around. I am not saying that I think this is a natural object. I think at this point in time, it's pretty much verifiable that it is not a natural object, and it is 100% being directed by some type of intelligence in terms of its trajectory. Which, one of the concepts for deep space travel is actually to use asteroids as spaceships. That way you have plenty of insulation to protect you from all of solar radiation. It's very interesting stuff.
So, we have a wealth of different stories that could possibly be the route that something like this takes. You've got different interpretations of what happens when you encounter something like this, right? What do we think the best case scenario is in this situation?
Have all technology wiped out. We're back to the Stone Age. Most of civilization crumbles. Most people die. It becomes a truly barbarous and savage world for a while. The most intelligent and the most vicious people, they survive, and the race of humans that exist 2 generations from now is exponentially more hardy and durable than what we have now.
That's your best case scenario?
I mean, if you're looking at it for the advancement of the human species as a whole and continuing onward, but maintaining its role of being this species instead of branching off or having this whole transhumanist movement or destroying itself through cataclysms, it's self-induced, all that kind of stuff. That's from like the moral hippy-dippy connected to the earth, humans be in touch with nature and be a human mindset.
Okay.
But from the most comfortable scenario, which is probably what your question was originally.
I was more referencing if you could pick a movie that you would say you would hope the outcome to be. But keep going. You're already here.
I was just saying the least impact on your day-to-day life in a negative way, that leads the most comfortable realization would be that this is an object that originated from a point in the time of our universe where matter and the properties of the universe as we know it didn't exist. This was in the first little bit of the Big Bang, if that's what you're buying into, where the laws of physics were a completely different thing. So it is operating under literally something outside of our normal laws of physics, which might seem out there and laughable, but we've already disclosed these crafts that are moving interdimensionally through here, the space, they're having the bubble, how they move. It's all documented. So I mean, it's not outlandish to say there might be some natural phenomenon that we have yet to observe ever, and this is just the end of the, oh look, this is some goopy rock shit we don't have a name for that is behaving in a way that we literally cannot understand. So I guess the movie that would be closest to would be a combination of like Venom and Flubber. That's the best thing I can do there for you. Just trying to keep it with your question.
Sure.
But I think realistically that is the most benign scenario at this point for us, is for us to observe a new natural phenomenon that challenges our model of understanding of the universe as a whole. When we adjust our model and we move forward with whatever discoveries from there and make a million other incorrect assumptions and carry on stumbling forward with the whole human experiment. I think that's the most benign outcome.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I've been looking at images and all kinds of stuff with this 3iAtlas. The concerning part is smart people are disagreeing with what it is, how it is, where it's coming from. So when you have all the smart people kind of digging in one way or the other, it sprinkles a lot of weird stuff, especially when, as you mentioned, it got very close to Mars, and right now there's no new data with all the satellites and craft and things we have in place that could easily photograph this very well with the instruments they have on board. And
well, it's starting to get more and more tracked. I mean, it's been 4 months now since I first said anything about it, but I mean, it's starting to get.
I mean, it's getting to be where you can
can't-
see it with
yeah,
your own.
see.
Yes, there's going to be a lot of more pictures that show up unless the clouds get too thick and you can't see for a couple of days. That'd be a shame, wouldn't it?
A very interesting time.
Don't look up.
They made a film about that.
Mm-hmm. Leo is one of those people as I get older and start to really put him under the microscope, it is very disturbing.
You
We'll
have
leave it
been
at that.
weighed. And you have been measured.
We'll leave it at that.
I said she said to send you that meme where he's got the little preteen girl, right? Yeah.
That's just adding to it.
I mean, it is what it is.
He's Jack, right?
There was a small little behind the scenes thing, and it's where he, as an actor, is questioning, so why can't she get on this piece of wood with me again? And then a very frustrated director who has clearly already explained this at this point, being like, well, there's enough space, but it wouldn't hold the weight of it. It's just, you got to. I wish that I could see all of it. I would watch the 30 outtakes of him increasingly getting more and more irritated and whatnot, and being like, kid, this is the dream role for you. Just shut the fuck up, sit there.
I raised the bar, sir, and you just happened to be on the bar when I raised it.
Yeah, you're just here, enjoying. China opened the world's tallest bridge. It's got a lot of cool stuff. There's restaurant at the top. They do bungee jumping off of it. It's got its own waterfall.
I would not drive over that for nothing. No.
There are a lot of these human megastructures, and it's like I said, it's got its own waterfall. A lot of these human megastructures where you really are putting a tremendous amount of faith in so many other people, because not just the people doing the construction, not just the engineers behind making everything come out to be, not the architect that's
Most impressively, the drive time from one area to the other cut down 2 hours to 2 minutes.
Think about that. If you've got such high disparate areas, I mean, that's incredible. Now, if you could go back, and I'm talking to whatever the lowest point of civilization in that area was, and take these, we'll say, village people of whatever mentality you want to put them on there, who, for us to go trade with that village over there, that's like a month-long journey with many dangers.
2 minutes.
Yeah. And then you get on this magical metal chariot that just takes you there.
You get on a Disneyland ride to go from one side to the other, literally.
Music.
It's where, American workers that are getting paid for having the contracts for long periods of time will take, years to complete a project, where the exact same project in China would be done in like a couple months, maybe a month.
I think it is absolutely ridiculous, the time scales for a lot of these projects that are absolutely unnecessary. For instance, the big bronze Trump Epstein statue that appeared, right there in Washington, D.C. That is a pretty big endeavor to put up and erect this monument, and that was done overnight. And then they literally removed it in less than 24 hours, which is also another task to do. And so that's a lot of money, and people working to make something happen that I guarantee you, if that were to have been a statue erected for Donald Trump and insert whoever, do you know how much time would have went in?
Permits.
Yeah.
Got to get the permits, you know. Got to go through the council. And we got to pay that guy to talk to that guy, and he's got to talk to his lawyer, and we got to get some more money, and we got to get some more money, and then some more money. And did you bring the bag of money? You got the bag of money? Good. That's how that works.
That's a super impressive structure, though. And when you see 4 years, I feel like that is fast too, because that thing is monstrous.
Right. I'll try to find another video I saw last year
of them working on it.
Yeah, but it was as they were like
connecting it.
Yeah, it was past the point where they really saw any potential failure or anything. Everything's working as it is now. We see the clearing picture, but it showed time lapse of the inception, and at some points, the people work. I mean, I don't care what safety stuff you have on there. That is a bold move to be the man out there on the end.
You know how hard the wind can gust that high off mountains like that, and how quickly it can get up on you? I mean, look at all the deaths that they could have had with the Golden Gate, and that's not a tenth of that.
Not only that, you got to consider the lack of oxygen at that elevation as well. So if you're taking any workers that are not specifically from, the villages that are up there at the elevation, they've got to first adjust to that. So do you want to be the guy like way out there looking down at nothing and then realizing you're starting to black out from hypoxia? Oh my, you're like, quick, let me link onto something.
That's like Miami playing in Denver, man.
I remember of Mike Rowe's dirty jobs, which one of the, he's had, obviously any of those jobs are horrible for the most part. But the one that made me the most anxious was a bridge worker that had to go in and climb inside of each of the supports of I think to replace light bulbs and to do maintenance checks and all that. And I mean, literally being like this. So I'm thinking about the team that has to maintain this bridge at that elevation. Yeah. There's bodies in there. I'm sure that they just had to leave, because how do you get them out?
Saw this mega construction project come out, and then I was thinking, what's the last mega construction project I saw in the United States? And I'm thinking, like, I don't know, they made a pretty big rainbow brick walkway in Florida that's now being bulldozed up because, but seriously, it's
Freedom Tower?
I guess, but that's pales, and I'm not trying to...
No, definitely. I'm with you 110%. I'm just trying to think of the last thing I could remember.
I'm saying I wish instead of all of our money blatantly going to a certain class of people, we'll say, why not have some of that money go to making just something to elevate the culture a little bit, something
to be proud of.
People.
Yeah,
just anything.
Let's make a bridge from the East Coast to the West Coast. Then what are they going to do? You know what I mean? Super highway up in the clouds.
No, let's open up the high-speed rails we have underground and increase. I'll put out a video soon enough.
Fun stuff. They go really fast too.
Other countries have been capable for a while.
No, I mean it's a global network, Artie.
It's a global network.
I literally have everything put up there. Like, I will show you a guided tour of all the things when it comes to that time. But yeah.
A lot of those have been around for a long time.
What's the travel distance from, let's say, the U.S. to the UK?
From what part of the U.S. to the UK?
Let's do East Coast to West Coast UK.
30 minutes.
All of the plane flights are an illusion. Impressive.
That's more than you think, yeah.
The planes that we fly in have been obsolete for decades.
Yeah, well, us poors need to use them.
Well, no, I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about, let's say, Trump needs to go be in a place at a time in a certain different country. He's certainly not flying Air Force One there.
Most world leaders like by law, are not allowed to travel in air at all. That's why. That was the whole joke behind the big fancy plane that Trump's could be maybe my new Air Force One. It's badass, all the gold, everything, you know, all this cool shit. But it's 'cause I'm never gonna be on that.
I used to work for a guy that had some very questionable, I'll say, personal hobbies. But one of the lessons that he taught me was about perception is everything. And the way that you talk to people, the way they believe that you are, especially in business, to understand what kind of value you have for them. Mm-hmm. But obviously, when the world is so interconnected and you can literally just write the story however you want, bring it back to sports or whatever it is, or travel, you can literally make an entire world think that none of these things exist and that you're an idiot for thinking that they do. And it's troubling to have that much power, but it's also understandable too, because when you talk about 3iAtlas and what would the world's reaction be if they truly understood the gravity of maybe the situation that we're in, if the entire globe is deciding not to talk about it. I mean, the pause for concern should be high. But do you blame them for the choice is what I'm getting at, right?
You've seen
Got to keep commerce going.
John Cusack movie, right?
Which one?
2012.
Yeah.
Hot Tub Time Machine.
Great movie.
That was pretty good too. That was a good
I mean,
one.
the second one. That was good.
But I really like that movie. I like that movie because it kind of hints at what you're saying. It's all of the certain class of people have decided that we want to survive. We're going to build us a nice little Noah's Ark, and if you got enough money, you can have a ticket. And
right, but thinking about China and you're showing this mega structure and talking about the laser capabilities and mastering time and space and all this, and to think that we're operating on a Stone Age level compared to that on a day-to-day level, right? Compared to what is actually capable.
But it shouldn't be that much of a leap, especially if you're a man of faith, because you get what I'm saying, that the leap to comprehending anything on that level is far greater than the leap you're describing right now. So why shouldn't that be something you can conceptualize and accept, you know?
Yeah, I'm just saying that the control of that story, or of a global story, to keep people from understanding those things. I get it, but I don't like it. How does that sound?
That's the way it's always been.
Yeah,
like
and it's just hard for a brain that's been molded in a certain kind of way for so long to process things. And then you see those things. I mean, to truly see and understand China building that bridge should be earth-shattering as an American to really think about, oh, well, we're World War II and we're a global power, and, we're powers of industry, and we can do all these things, and together we can do this, that, and the other. And then you see another nation actually doing things.
Our bridges are 20 feet high, 60 years old, and crumbling.
Right.
right.
I mean, nothing will kill your American spirit quicker than that.
Yeah. Their bridges are mountains high,
Yeah.
brand new and flourishing.
Right.
Bringing in revenue through industry on the subject.
But how does it change on a U.S. level? Because obviously the money difference between the 1% or whatever you want to call it versus the rest of us, those people don't want to lose that money. I mean, I can definitely see it on a micro level in my own industry, at my own job, to see when I have my boss come talk to me and clearly I'm struggling financially in this world because everything costs 5 times as much as it did 2 years ago. And he wants to come talk to me about, well, we're working on getting the floors redone, and I think we're going to get this pool done, and we're going to do this, that, and the other, and we're going to add some things here. Like, he's never going to think like, this is not right for me to be swimming in this money and to look at the people that made me this money and realize that they are suffering from this. So if that's him on a micro level, to actually imagine somebody who's more than just a couple millionaire.
You don't have to believe in a super organized evil cabal making decisions to exploit you and oppress you. Just understand, because most people have witnessed at least one time, and probably most of the time, the people that you are describing, and It's not people that have some big global plan that want to manipulate everything. It's someone that I cannot bother to be inconvenienced. I cannot fathom my life where I would have to live slightly farther away from this thing, or have to do slightly more here, or have a slight disadvantage. It's just
a lot of individuals with no empathy.
Yeah. I don't want to look at these homeless. Clear them up. I want to have a beautiful view when I look out of my expensive condo.
Kind of like when Newsom burned all the homeless camps and cleaned it up for that, one guy to come visit for a week.
There's a lot of controversy. A lot of people think that homeless people are disappearing in droves, and we've got record people becoming homeless. But it's funny because we also have a record number of homes, and we still have far more houses than we have people.
And that they're still being built.
It's all funny.
And they're still just as expensive. No, wait, more expensive.
The jig's up, empires crumble. I will say strategically, it makes sense at this point to completely tank the value of the dollar.
They've already done that.
No, I mean completely.
Oh, turn it to a whole zero. Oh.
Completely destroy it. Then you swap over all of our credit, goes to crypto, to Bitcoin, which we've artificially inflated. We transfer all of our debt assets over there. Everything's a nice clean jubilee, but at the same time still maintaining that the poors do keep their share of the debt. And we move on to the next thing because we know how all this works. We flip it off.
Checkmate.
Well, something like that. We will probably wrap this up. You are not going to be here next week, right?
I'm not going to be here on next week's episode.
Okay. We'll be doing the robot and drone episode next week, so you will miss out on that. But
I will be watching. Like the robots and drones.
I don't know if there was anything else in particular that I really wanted to go with.
I got a fun fact for you. Kind of a sports ball crossover, but...
It's about the fact that Triple H never earned anything in his entire wrestling career and basically got to write everything for him because he was boning the boss's daughter, and now he's in the White House still being a clown, and what in the hell kind of country do we live in? Sorry.
Bonkers.
Yeah, that meme that's going around, that Stone Cold has literally stunned everybody in the Oval Office in that one picture where they're all sitting there.
Yes.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
But I was going more on the sportier side of the Jerry Jones. He had to get his clicks this past Sunday. Apparently, during the game, Mr. Jones decided he was going to flip off a couple Jets fans from his special place.
He's... the last 2-3 weeks, there's really been a lot of media attention on him. And I'm wondering if it's because the Cowboys had such an awful season. And I've seen infinite is not a number that one can truly quantify, but I would say that's the most accurate term for the amount of Dallas Cowboys fans are gay memes that I've seen. Wow. I'm just saying.
You're worse than my fucking boss. My God.
I'm just saying what it is. It's literally, if I see 10 memes, one of them is Dallas Cowboys are gay, their fans are gay, they suck, all this stuff or whatever,
Well, the funny thing is that Mr. Jones was fined by the NFL for $250,000 for his obscene gesture to the opposing team's fan base.
Insert.
I love that clip where you got the two people, one person's on the rocks on the island, the other person's on the rocks on the shore, and they're just like, hey, F you! What? F you! And they're just going back and forth. Yeah.
I wanted to put this in sports ball talk, but we didn't do that. I'll just throw that in here.
Oh, back to the Dolphins again.
Right. You want to? This is just a quick. This might not make it in here, but it's just the latest.
Yeah. Well, I think it starts with the leadership in helping articulate that.
From the Mike McDaniel.
Just like he's as I was, and we talked about the challenge ahead to get ready for the Chargers. That was kind of the extent of it.
Quite loquacious, this one.
Is that what you need? The loquacious time?
Gorlami. Mi scusi con me? Gorlami. Antonio Margareti. Ancora? Margarete.
Un'altra volta, ma adesso vorrei proprio sentire la musica delle parole.
Margarete. Margheriti.
Now we have to do Inglourious Bastards. We've already set ourselves up.
I mean, he's nothing if not in order. I'd be down to do that if we could squeeze that in.
There was a tournament on October 5th that had Team USA versus Team India in Texas in a bullet chess matchup, which bullet chess is really short time chess. Traditionally, chess is about a 2-hour classical game. They've gotten down to the point where it is a minute versus a minute playoff in chess. It's very high, very intense, very high stakes. I bring this up because there's been this trend recently this year of if there is explosive moments that happen in a chess game, at any given point it gets traction. You remember the Magnus Carlsen slamming his fist on the table after a loss recently earlier in the summer. If you were following in the chess sphere, as soon as that happened, it was everywhere about, is Magnus lost his touch and everything in between. You had the Hans Niemann controversy that went through. That was a big deal last year. But this week, it was Hikaru Nakamura, who, after beating Gukesh in this blitz battle where he was losing miserably most of
get the sweet and sour.
Right. Gukesh is like the 18-year-old number one in India, which India has amazing chess players. And so for an American to come up and get this win, Hikaru was so happy he took Gukesh's king at the end of the win and threw it into the crowd and cheered himself off the stage. Some people booed when that happened, the Indians, and the Americans got super loud with it. So it's just interesting because of the sports ball talk that we do of like when you actually want to get into the weeds of when real controversy happens. In the chess world, a man took a chess piece and threw it into the crowd, and people are up in arms about it right now.
I mean, it's the gritty on steroids.
Right. It's high stakes. What's interesting is they actually track the heart rates of each player while they play. And to see how high Nakamura's heart rate was when he finally got that win. USA! USA! But like and subscribe, follow. Dude Bros Podcast, Dude Bros Rewind every Tuesday. Sports Ball Talk, live streams, Saturdays.
You're the greatest buck of all time.
That's the sound goats make. They don't. That's a sheep.
No.
The goats say,
Bro, no.
Hey, y'all good? Y'all need to. That's what goats do, bro.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do. The sheep say bad.
I own my own farm of goats, bro. How you gonna tell me?